Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I hope you're doing fine. So, it's been a while. Today I want to talk again about Beautiful Light, and I want to share with you guys what they recently did and what they're working on. And a few things very interesting. As always, look at that. Timestamps in the description below, so if you're interested in only specific topics, you can pick them and can skip everything else. And with that, let's go. And the first thing we're going to talk about is third-person animations. Now keep in mind, the game will be, of course, first-person, but at the end of the day, other people will see you, of course. So these animations need to be nice. The sprint animation, that is probably one that I like the least. I think all the other ones are pretty cool. I like the sidestepping and everything. Because when we check once more the sprint animation, it feels a little bit like the character is not leaning forward enough. But when it comes to jog animation, I also like the sideways hopping. That's pretty cool. And the walk animation, yeah, dude, that looks pretty fucking sweet. We're just gonna ignore that our character as a whole. This is all about the animation set. I also have no clue if this is a specific backpack or items that you will need then, where you can change filters for radiation zones or different anomalies. Crouching? Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Then we have another animation, the aim offset. Looks pretty dope. So the only movement set that I would criticize right now is the sprinting, because it feels a little bit like you're doing tippy taps and you're not really full sprinting, because in case you're full sprinting, you would lean forward way more. The turn tilt, yeah, this is something that I needed to get used to the first time I played Beautiful Light. When you turn, your character tilts to basically simulate real life. Because in real life, obviously, you tilt a little bit too. But I'm a huge fan of the movement sets, and another thing that they did very well is how you transition between the different animations. That is very smooth. And I'm gonna show you now a syringe animation. That's basically what will be used for reviving. I like that it has an animation. Some games, you know, there is no animation at all, like for example Showdown, funny enough. And it's giving the enemy a visual indicator what is going on. Personally, I would have liked to see a defib and not a syringe, because with the defib you could also make some noise, you know, with the charging and the shocking, so it would be a little bit more risky to go for revives. But I think the syringe right now looks already pretty solid. Now keep in mind the game hits early access, hopefully, December 2026, so they still have a lot of time to improve a few things. As always, drop in the comment section below what you think about the game and what I'm showing you. They are reading the comments, right? People like Mooney, I see her regularly in the comment section, replying and answering some of your questions. But enough of that, let's talk about a new anomaly. In case you're new to the Beautiful Light playlist, the anomalies are player controlled. The game is labeled as a PvPvPvE game. So player versus player versus player versus environment. You have your soldiers, and they fight, well, other soldiers, and they fight the environment, so regular AI. This is a formula that you see in Showdown, in Marauders, in The Cycle, in Escape from Tarkov. You get it, right? In this game, Beautiful Light will have monsters that are player controlled, who hopefully are kind of strong, because then when you have these stalemates, these standoffs where nothing is happening, or people sit in bushes and they do nothing, hopefully the monsters can hunt them down. At least, in theory, that would be pretty cool. And this big boy right here, at least he's labeled big boy. Yeah, what in the F? So, the monster design, I'm just gonna say monster. Crazy. And weird, because he has a spine on the back, and he has also a spine in the front. So it's like two humans fusing together, making that thing. And with the mass that the thing has, the first screenshot showed how big the thing actually is. Maybe there's even another one in there, or maybe two, or maybe three. It looks a little bit more tanky, brute force approach. I showed already some different anomalies, like this one, or this one, or this one. So you get it. So they are a little bit more, how do I say this? More elegant, a little bit more, they look like ambush predators. And the big boy is like, nah, come at me, bro. I can tank this and I'm gonna slap you. So, looks very promising. But enough of that. Let's jump to the next chapter, and that's gonna be character customization. And every time I look at this, I'm impressed that they already have so much. Now keep in mind, Beautiful Light is scheduled for December 2026. I hope they can do that. That would be great. So they still have plenty of time. And still, this clip is labeled 30 minutes of character customization in 2 minutes. They have already so much, which is nice. Two things that I want to mention here. First of all, it all fits the game, right? So you do not have pink unicorns. There is no Nicki Minaj jumping across my screen. So that is, please keep it that way. I don't know how it will exactly work with unlocking stuff. Some will probably be DLC or battle passes or whatever they have planned at the end of the day for their monetization system. Maybe some stuff gets or will become a reward for achievements or just leveling up your account. Lots of options, but I like what I see. Also, you can see what kind of guns the characters are carrying. So you can see it at the backpack. So you have, I think, one weapon in your hand and one basically at the backpack. So from afar, you can already see what kind of loadout the enemy is running, more or less. Which is also some nice intel that you can collect during PvP, in case you have a scope. Because otherwise, without a scope, I think it's a little bit difficult to see what weapons the enemy has at distance. Because now, I want to show you real quick a PvP clip. And here we go. So, for now I'm gonna shut up and let you taste a little bit of PvP. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this run again once more in the background. And there are a few things, a few seconds that I would like to highlight. First of all, the ragdoll animations, they fit the game. So headshots seem to be super lethal. As long as you don't hit that, people can be a bit tanky, which I don't mind. Keep in mind where they were shooting in the first couple seconds of this PvP engagement. That was far, and you're shooting there with iron sights and with a red dot, some very tiny targets with recoil. So close range, we also saw that. You can kill somebody very quickly. So the balance seems to be more on the fast TTK side. TTK, time to kill. Another thing is why I shut up during the clip is so you can get a little bit of a feeling for the audio. And that seems to be already in a good place. Another thing that is pretty cool, the whole thing, Ubisoft, I hope you're listening, the user interface is almost non-existent. There's nothing. Because you have all of that on your PDA, which is amazing. So there are apparently, outlines for your friends. You can have that cam light though. The cam light is only visible, by the way, for your squad. So it's not like, oh yeah, I'm in a dark forest at night. Let me turn on my red cam light so everybody can see me. Not the case, only your teammates will be able to see that. Yeah, realism sucks. Gameplay should always come first, and then we can add realism, okay? Because otherwise this would be absolutely garbage when random teams play with red cam lights at night against arranged teams in Discord or whatnot. They would just plow through everybody. So that's nice. And I drifted away a little bit. When you check the PDA clip, at first I was like, why is he checking the PDA? Because the PDA shows your teammate's position. So he wasn't sure, the guy that he spotted, is this an enemy now or is this my teammate? A quick look on the PDA and he can confirm friend or foe and then start blasting. So that will be pretty cool because as far as I know, you deal 100% friendly fire damage. And since the TTK is rather fast, especially close range, yeah, better be careful. Now, let's talk a little bit about sound. Here we have the sound animation for, well, our monster doggy eating a player. And also the idle sound. And this is a clip I absolutely love because they show how they went to the swamp, recorded that, and then how they put that in the game. And I think this is great. Making your own sounds gives your game character. If you take everything from a library and you just pay for that and just take the stuff, or, it's not the same. So that they're doing this, I hope they're doing that with everything, if it's possible. I don't know how it will work for them with guns. That will be freaking great. And now, I highly suggest that you put on your headset because we're gonna talk about vertical audio. Well, actually I won't, because again, I'm gonna let you listen to this first and then we're gonna discuss it. Now this is nice because vertical audio is so difficult. It doesn't matter. Hunt Showdown struggles with that a little bit. Escape from Tarkov is very often just complete ass when it comes to audio. And right here it seems to be decent for, the first steps. Because, again, they have over a year to bring this to perfection. It sounds nice. However, it sounds more like a 0 and 1 approach. So either it's immediately muffled, or it's, well, no obstruction whatsoever. And normally when you go around a corner, you should not sound super far away. You should sound like you're around the corner, right? So they need to smooth this transition a little bit from somebody in front of you in the open, going around the corner, and then he keeps going further away. So that is a little bit going too fast. The guy goes around the corner, and it sounds like he's already pretty far away. So a lot of times you will bump into people, and then you're like, wait, I thought you're a little bit further away, and then they blast you. Or you blast them. Whoever is faster. But I absolutely love it that they're showing this, and I think they're on a good track. Next, let's talk about stash and inventory. And honestly, you're a little bit at fault how everything looks here. That sounds negative, but they're doing some votes in the Discord. So, you know, I'm gonna leave the link to the Discord where they have polls. How should certain things look like? And then you can actively help developing the game. Now, I like that you can drag the weapons around, and something that I absolutely love is that when you do changes to the weapon, you can see all the stats and the attachment slots. The gun itself, the icon displays the changes too. Now I'm saying this because normally this is kind of a no-brainer and every game should do that, but I played the Forever Winter, which I enjoy a lot, but I always find it weird when you mod the gun that the gun in your inventory still looks unmodded. Super confusing in my opinion. So far I think they did a good job. I see a stat that is labeled durability, so weapon jamming might be a thing. I hope not, as long as you maintain your gear. I'm against weapon jamming because it's just not fun in these hardcore games. Other than that, I'm super happy that they have already loadouts, so you can already prep something. Lets you go into a match faster in case, you know, you got eaten by an anomaly or somebody shot you in the face. Now, the trailers are still very early work in progress, and this might sound weird, but there's not really much to talk about this, in my opinion. Now, somebody from the dev team will be angry at me. It seems like it does what it's supposed to do. I'm a little bit confused that the flash bomb costs the same like a pebble. That must be a very, very, very important pebble. Of course, it's just a placeholder. I know that. But the trailers seem to be easy to understand. And what I like is that everything seems to be neatly organized. Your weapons, your attachments, your equipment, your tactical, your medical. And in these categories, you have everything again sorted. I want to see how everything looks the moment they change the value, because right now everything is like $1,400. And obviously that's not gonna be the case at the end of the day. But yeah, but it looks good. So keep going, guys. Next up, let's talk about the guns that they're developing for this game. And yeah, there are a few cool ones, so let's check them out. So they are working currently on the animations for the F2000, which is a bullpup rifle. And I think that one got developed in Belgium. And I have to say that so far, the animations look very crisp. Can't wait to see the whole thing. Next, we're gonna have the FRF2, which is the Fusil à Répétition Modèle F2. So you probably guessed already, and I most likely butchered the pronunciation. That's a French sniper rifle. Gorgeous. So far, I think we only have the renders, but soon we will get animations and the whole thing in the game. And then an all-time classic. A game without that would be weird. Doesn't matter if you play a modern game like Escape from Tarkov or an old game like Showdown. The Mosin. So let's check that out. And then I think we talked about this already, the ASVAL. And I think before I only showed you render pictures, and now you can see already the first animations how it comes to life. Yeah, we are now in the final chapter. There are a few things that will just take a couple seconds, so they all mesh together. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second too. So they gave us another sneak peek for the map 2. And that one will be very interesting. It depends for me, like how good the map will be, where the map border is. If you can go up that hill, yeah, with one of these sniper rifles, I hope the anomalies go up there and will eat you, because it will otherwise be very annoying. Interesting design, completely different to the other map that we have already, with more forests and stuff like that. Maybe this is also just a compound. I don't know what's planned for this map or how they will do the maps in the future. I like the attempt that other games are doing nowadays to have big maps but also smaller maps, where you need less players, less queue time. Pretty cool. I mean, I'm not super happy with Tarkov, but that's one thing that they did well. You have some very, very big maps, and then if you really crave that PvP, you go factory, right? And I guarantee you, if you go factory and you don't have any PvP, I don't know, you're playing on the Australian servers 5 AM. Otherwise, it's completely impossible not to get some PvP over there. Maybe they're doing the same, having some big maps that are a little bit more stealthy, more sniping, more long range. And then maybe you have only, you know, this compound here, and that's it. Another game will do something similar, and that will be Hunger. They have already 3 maps with 1 square kilometer, and they will also have smaller maps for, you know, less people are needed for that, and you can get a little bit more PvP faster. So whatever you like, your pick then. I also don't know how it will work. Can you pick the map in beautiful light? Or is it like in Hunt, where you just, okay, you queue up and then the game decides, hey, I have enough people for this map, go over there? Or is it like Tarkov, Hunger, and all the other games where you can decide which map you will play? That's something that I might want to cover in a future video. Okay, next, we have this mesh blend here, and I'm just going to say goodbye for now so you can see this properly. And it's not a big change, but you can see it when you pay real attention. Especially around rocks and boulders, you can see how everything's blending together. I think here with on-off, it shows it very nicely, so that's cool. I also think the PC got another upgrade. So that thing on the right there seems to be like the 3D printer that you need to get your access codes. So I'm wondering how that thing will look like once we hit early access or the game releases. And then let's check this out, the red headlamp, because the game wasn't scary enough apparently. So let's put everything in a very ominous red lighting. Yeah, now you're probably asking yourself, why the hell should I do that? I will just take the white flashlight, thank you very much. Because the white flashlight, the attachment, you have to pay for that. And the red one is the one that you always can have for free. So budget runs will be very spooky. And they also kept working on the PDA. The PDA is a key element of the game. You have so much info there. You can see the character stats, you can see the extraction timer, you have a compass, you have a map that you can zoom in and out, you can see where your objective is, you can target where the cookie is, the main objective in the game, and you can also see where your teammates are. I absolutely love the idea of this PDA, because it helps to take a lot of elements that are normally annoying in a user interface and put it somewhere where it's not intrusive. And I just had recently a match in Hunt Showdown where VoIP absolutely flavored the game. Yeah, sure, I know sometimes you have some, you know, bad cookies in the batch, but overall VoIP is a great experience. And it's not just VoIP, you also have the radio communication, you can hear that one very well, and depending on where you are, the VoIP gets influenced. So let's listen to a little bit of loud French.
Il est un peu trop bip.
Ouais, je pense que le bip on va le modifier. On va juste passer dans un bâtiment histoire de tester l'occlusion.
Oh, j'ai pas le son des voltiges.
Moi non plus, j'ai pas le son, ouais. Ah, vous avez trigger...
C'est le chaos.
Alors, vas-y, parlez pour la reverb.
Ouais.
Ah, c'est trop cool la reverb.
Moi j'entends, ouais. C'est un peu, ça sature un peu, mais...
Ouais, après c'est peut-être c'est mon micro, il est peut-être pas très bon. Là, c'est pour t'entendre à travers les murs. Ok, cool. Y'a quelqu'un qui s'est pris un voltique ou quoi? Ah!
So yeah, and no, I'm not gonna put captions for that one because that would take me way too long. And my French is a little bit rusty. Je suis désolé. Now, with this though, I think this is great. This is something that I actually didn't know that I wanted in my other games. That depending on the location where you are, VoIP gets affected. For example, the echo effect indoors. That's nice. So, do I want this in other games too? I think I do. It adds a lot to the immersion. Now the question is, how much will people actually use in VoIP when they play as an arranged team? But for randoms, that's great. And for interacting with other people, even though they're your enemies, in theory, why not? Dude, I'm happy that they put so much effort into this. Alright, that's it for today. As always, if you know, YouTuber begging for attention, in case you like these videos, a like would be appreciated, maybe a sub, so you don't miss the next dev update about Beautiful Light. My plan is to play this once it releases, December 2026, according to Steam. I hope it's not getting delayed. Please no, because I really want to play as an anomaly and eat people. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I just want to test this concept, how good it will actually be that you have another faction controlled by a player to break up all these stalemates. I know I sound like a broken record because I talk about this in every video that I did about Beautiful Light, but this is something that I would love in the regular extraction games. So yeah, and with that, I say we just roll the outro. So yeah, Beautiful Light, hopefully a beautiful video too, and for sure, beautiful patrons. Thank you very much for supporting me over on Patreon. Don't forget, in case you want to check out my link tree, where all my platforms are listed, all the channels that I'm using, more or less. Maybe you find something that you'll like. And with that, there's not much more to say. I see you in the next one. Until then, have a good day, and bye-bye.